Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chattin 88s. I'd like to point out that I don't like the internet right now. It's not my friend. I'm having so many issues, but let's keep going. Welcome to Chattin 88s. I'm getting new internet tomorrow, that's great. 'Cause every single week we have a guest. And I need better connection. Oh, I need a better connection. Spending time with me is the best when you have better internet. When you have better internet. Cheers, everybody, and welcome to Chattin 88s. I'm your host, Curtis LaBelle. That's right, me, coming to you live from isolation here in Studio C, F7Z6, wherever that is. I'm in my house. So cheers to getting through the finish line and doing whatever it takes. Let's talk about that for a minute. Doing whatever it takes. If it takes the simple, tiny things in life in order to get you ahead, do that. If it means that you are just simply pouring a cup of coffee in your morning in order to be successful, then do whatever it takes. If it means that you have isolation and four walls around you and you still have everything that you need to do on a regular basis to ensure that you are a success, do whatever it takes. Do you have the wit? W-I-T, whatever it takes. That's right. Welcome. If you're just tuning in, thank you for tuning in tonight. My name is Curtis LaBelle. My guest tonight is Ryan Kuly. He is a local here from Red Deer, which is absolutely fantastic, something that we really take a lot of pride on here with Shaw Spotlight as well. And big shout out to them for being a huge supporter for Chattin 88s. Thank you so much. We love you. We love you, Shaw Spotlight. Yes, we do. Ryan is from Red Deer, Alberta, and he is a bit of a force to be reckoned with here in the industry. He's a sound producer, engineer. He is a musician, guitarist, and he is a podcast host as well of his own podcast. He is somebody you're going to want to get to know. He's going to be coming on here shortly. But before we start talking to him and picking his brain and seeing what he's been up to lately, let me tell you what I've been up to lately. Run away, run away. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Run Away has been accepted into the CBC Searchlight 2021 competition. If you want to help support me in my career, just a little bit of a shout out. Make sure that you follow me on social media as well as go to the CBC Searchlight and vote for Run Away. Me and the boys are very excited about having that in the show. So fantastic experience. And seeing where we can get to the top 100. 1 second here. I have had another issue with the stream again because of internet. So tell us where you're from. We can get you in on the chat and let us know where you have been, what life is like for you, where you're coming from, and tell us a joke maybe. I'm just hopefully getting some things organized here. It's a couple of things that I'm going to mention that I think are extremely important whenever you are doing a live stream, or if you are doing a podcast, or if you are an artist who's Zooming with other people, or whatever you're using, etc. Please make sure that you have a strong internet connection hardwired in. Wireless is not good enough. Wireless is not good enough if that is what is happening here. I am... we are... Sorry, I'm waiting for another... we've updated our streaming platforms, and it seems to be... we are... Sorry, I'm trying to run everything, and this is what happens. I am running sound, I am running lights, I am running camera, I am running all of the technical side of things. So I thank you very much for your patience and your appreciation for supporting me in what I'm doing, and everybody else that helps volunteer. I just want to get back to having the volunteers in my life, let me tell you. That is important to me. Seems like when the internet goes out, we have to get a new stream. That's a lie. It says that we have to get the stream again. I guess once you can't use the stream, you have to use the stream. I have no idea. Sorry, folks. Just waiting for the gentleman trying to all new restreaming stuff. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you just tuned in, my name is Curtis LaBelle. I think we have our guest, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring him on. Let's not waste any more time. Please put your hands together for Mr. Ryan Kuly.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Oh, my goodness gracious. My internet went down right before we started this.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. That'll do.
And I'm supposed to have a technician in tomorrow morning. In fact, I'm actually just going to say to him, take the modem, take everything out. I am changing service providers, and I am going to drink a full bottle of wine right where I sit.
Yeah, I had recently got internet put in here, and it's the fastest internet I've ever had in my life. It's been life-changing. It's
I need the fastest internet. That is what it is. So who knows where we're going? But we have people watching. Welcome to Chattin 88s, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good.
How's that couch?
It's been a long day. It is. Yeah, it's not too bad. I was going to put something else on here, but I didn't.
A blow-up doll, maybe? No.
Yeah, something like that.
A guitar. You should have had your guitar sitting next to you. Do you have a guitar sitting? Do you have a guitar in the room?
I do, actually. Give me one sec.
Yeah, let's get a guitar there. When he comes back, folks, we're going to ask him, first of all, take a moment, collect your breaths, collect your breath, and be at peace. I'm having a rooibos tea.
I should have had a way to plug it in, but I wasn't.
No, that's okay. Stand it up so we can see it beside you. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's the number one now.
It's the number one.
Yeah, I played a red telly for years. Still love that thing, but yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, you were just saying that you had a long day. Let's deconstruct a day for Ryan Kuly. What is it like to be a sound engineer, working on your stuff, working on other artists' repertoire, putting together a podcast, being a host on that, and as on top of it, you have your lovely, lovely guitar beside you as a guitarist and a musician professionally. What is life like for you on a daily basis?
No 2 days are the same, and I love that. I really like being able to kind of get up and just get creative with the things that inspire me kind of first thing, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, I kind of just wake up and pursue creative ideas. And it's, it's gotten to the point now where it's now we're doing it for more than just a hobby, I guess you could say.
At what point did it occur to you then that it's not a hobby anymore, and you're turning it into something that can this is a topic of conversation again that comes up time and time again that I have with other artists. What is a hobby? What is considered a hobby, I guess, as an artist for anybody in the industry? What is considered a hobby in your opinion?
That's interesting, because I think a lot of the art stuff that you and I do, and a lot of the people in the community, that's kind of where you're bleeding your hobbies into what you're trying to do for a living. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do for the last, few years. Kind of the things that you enjoy getting up and doing with your time every day, get creative with them and figure out how you can apply them to every day and see if you can make a dollar doing it, I guess. But yeah.
So what was the aha moment? Like, what was the spark that went, I got to stop doing this for fun? Well, I mean, okay, not stop doing it for fun, but stop doing it as a hobby and turn it into a profession and a career and make some money at it and, turn a dollar.
It's been a long road getting to the point where you can kind of do, I don't know, you can kind of just live on your own terms. I still have a job and a contributing member to society in all the sense, but I just it's been many years cumulative work. And I think the aha moment was when I stood back and was like, okay, I think I've accumulated enough knowledge and just there's enough ideas in my repertoire to pursue that I think we can try and do this in a more commercial sense or whatever way you want to put it, I suppose. But we got this space that we're in right now with the green screen and everything else.
Tell us where this space is. So somebody who's coming through Red Deer and goes, hey, I'm an artist and I need a quick place to do a quick podcast. Here's $500. Hopefully they flip you $500 and away you go. Where can we find you?
Yeah, I'm right downtown, right across from the Ross Street patio in Town Center Mall. We've just got a big creative, it's like a digital playground a little bit. We got a green screen recording space, and me and my good buddy Riley Syrian and I just kind of play in here with Ed, crazy ideas, outside the box things, and taking ideas that we've seen other places and kind of expanding on them. And it started as trying to do virtual shows, and it very fast turned into like, oh, there's so many things this green screen can do and what can be applied for and stuff like that. But we're still just, this obviously is kind of our test to see how well we can do it in a live sense, to be honest with you. So this has been great. I'm glad you had me on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we're really glad to have you here. I want to pick your brain. You're floating in the oasis of water right now. You're getting wet. So make sure you have got your shorts and sandals on there. You're good to go. Let's talk about you mentioned recording space. You mentioned green screen, all the options that an artist can do there, etc. But let's dive into you as the artist, as a sound engineer. What is the most, like, when you're working with an artist and somebody comes in or you're doing live sound, first of all, what do you prefer, live or studio?
Live. There's an unmatched energy in there in all kind of live music sense, from performance.
So then what's your most important role then as Ryan, as a sound engineer, when you're working with the artist in a live setting? What's the most important aspect to sound engineering for you when you're working with that artist?
Yeah, just playing in a band, playing in a punk band too for many years. You just you deal with a lot of sound guys that don't really want to accommodate you on the level that maybe you want them to. There's a disconnection there between artist and sound guy most of the time. So when I got into doing live sound, I was like, this is a bridge I can gap for sure. I have expectations and I know what the bands expect, and if moving forward with that like in mind as a sound guy, you can really accommodate. You can just like make people feel at home, and not be scared to say something stupid or something like that, but just
We have Tracy here has been watching the lovely show with us. Tracy has requested that we get your volume up. Tracy's from Red Deer, so if we can turn up your volume a little bit, Ryan, that would be fabulous. Big shout out to Tracy. How you doing? We'll get Ryan's volume up here.
Just pin it, just the monitor out on that knob. Just pin it.
Pin it. Let's talk about that. What does that mean? Okay, so you're. Let's talk about this right now. You're
Check,
trying to be the sound engineer.
Hey. There we go. That's much louder for me and my headphones.
For sure, we can definitely hear you. Absolutely. What does pin it mean? Like, let's talk about what are some key phrases and terms? I mean, you just sound engineered with a sound engineer for the show in order for us to hear you. So we're sound engineering gurus.
Well, oh yeah. Now I got to really watch my vocal control here because we're a little spicy.
Now there's a whole aspect to it, right?
I said pin it just to turn it up, but I had a better idea of how to run all my audio. From what I can hear in my headphones, I'm pretty out of phase, and I think I have 2 signals being sent, but I just kind of ran out of time getting it set up. So we're knee deep in a lot of gear plugged into each other, things plugged into things and plugged into other things, and this is a kind of a backwards way of what we're doing, but we're really just working out the kinks. So
absolutely. Again, another quote from Tracy here. Hiya, kids. Ryan is fantastic at all the things with a big happy face.
Yeah, thanks, Tracy. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, Tracy's amazing. Another great local artist. Let's time management.
Oh God.
I know we're all trying new things and we're all working and getting things together. But when you're doing a live show with an artist, say on location, and you're doing sound for them, what does time management mean to you, and how important is it?
Yeah, it's really big, and it's something that I got the wake up call getting into the bigger and more professional side of doing industry stuff. Time management is huge. Being on time, all of that stuff. That's nuts. I personally don't have the greatest time management, but that just leads me to work. I work 8, 10, 12-hour days all the time just because I triple, quadruple book myself and always am juggling a schedule and just kind of fly through my days trying to do as much as I possibly can. So, and it keeps me busy, keeps me positive. If you can really get into the groove of just doing things and really just pumping out your ideas, it keeps your spirits up.
Right. Give us a, how do you sound so good even in the woods, he says. This is what one of our guests says. How do you sound so good even in the woods?
Thanks, Patrick. I think Riley is at the helm of more gear than one person should have to ever deal with. So a lot of all this behind the scenes stuff that's going on right now, you can't really see. But
this is true. Leslie Marchant says hi as well. Let's talk about the behind the scenes. You have more than one. Generally, sometimes you may be the only person as a sound engineer coming onto a set, but you normally have a crew. And how many people do you usually have working with you, Ryan, whenever you're working on doing live sound for a show?
Well, the bulk of my work is done at Bose, and I would refer to him as my work husband. I have Billy Robinson, who's my LD, and we are a power couple, and we really love providing the best service in a tech team that we possibly can, but it is usually always just the two of us. Not usually, it's always just the two of us. But we know that building kind of in and out. But yeah, there's a little bit of pride for how much we accomplished really just with the two of us.
Life as a guitarist.
Yes. So, yeah, kind of how I got into music and everything was guitar was one thing when I was younger. I just at a early teenage year, I guess I was about 13, 14. I just decided that that's what I was going to be good at in my life. I made that as a very conscious decision. And I practiced, put in many, many hours and saw a return on it and got good and saw the opportunities for them, got to take some of the opportunities and walking. Like I still play guitar almost every single day for hours. Like it's still a huge part of my life and what I think about.
How old were you when you started?
13, 14. I had a very musical family, so it was pretty easy to jump into it and just like stick with it, go for it. But what I was going to say is walking away from guitar as I get older and stuff. I still practice it all the time, but I thought about this the other day, and what it really taught me was time in, product out. It was a real thing. I could practice for this amount of time, and I could learn this, and I applied that mentality to a ton of other things in life. Like if you spend enough time and energy at doing something, you will see a return on it. There's a guarantee there. I saw that, tried, tested, and true. And yeah, it's just kind of a cool analogy for how I approach a lot of this other stuff. Like you won't conquer the world in one day by any stretch of the imagination, but if you do anything for long enough, you will be better at it. So.
I absolutely agree. And I have learned that myself as an artist, putting the time in, you definitely will reap you will reap all of the benefits that come out of it. It is definitely not an easy feat though. It's 100% in, and you don't always get 100% out. You may, and that, that's my opinion. And but
time.
it's still a success. Even if you get 3% out after putting 100% in, it's like trying to squeeze. The funnel is the life of music, if you will, and we put everything in it, and only the stuff that comes out at the end, like that's that 3%, right? But eventually,
Absolutely.
all of that will fill up a big vat of success. So. Yep. Let's talk about success for you. What are some of the great successes that you've had as a guitarist in your industry?
Yeah, it's the famous question of how you would measure success. But I've had some cool opportunities. I had some goals that I wanted to do as a kid that I did. I got to tour lots. I played in the band called Dusty Tucker. Lots of people know that. Did the country with them. Met a lot of people, got to do the States after that. And then most recently, I played with One Bad Son for a string of shows before COVID kind of hit. And it's, cumulative. This work we put in and all this stuff is cumulative. And it's very slow, but it's growing. I'm getting a little bit farther every time,
It really is 5,000 steps forward, 1 step forward. There's no steps back, right? We have to put 100% in every single morning that we wake up. How do you wake up in the morning? Like what's your go-to routine to get you all jabbed and up and ready to do what you need to do?
This is funny because if you would ask me a month ago, it would have been a totally different answer. I recently got a dog. I have a hound lab husky Pyrenees.
What's his name?
Gorgeous. It's her name is Izzy.
And
she is the light of my world these days. So I get up with her quite early. Now, 6:45, 7. But like I said, if you were to ask me a month ago, it would have been a little different. But yeah, I'm up quite early now with a dog. It involves a house coat on my front lawn. And then coffee, emails, YouTube, things.
So you do the social aspect right in the morning, right? You gather your life, you put everything in, you do all the social media in the morning. I mean, I think social media is all day long, but you do that first initial business blunt of the work.
You really gotta. And I can't say that I'm good at this by any means, but you have to kind of learn how to limit yourself on where you draw the line of just like, you can use the excuse that I'm promoting what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But you can't do that all the time. You can't just be drowning your phone. And I'm really, really bad for that. My girlfriend gives me crap for it all the time. But it's socials first thing in the morning. Figure out what I have to do that day. See what projects are outstanding, how close the due dates are, stuff like that. A lot of coffee.
A lot of coffee. Podcast.
Yeah, so that's a recent endeavor.
Why are podcasts? I mean, here we are doing a live talk show. This is I can't speak. The Chattin 88 is in season 2, and this is show 35. So
nice. Good number.
Yes. So thank you for being our guest on show 35. But we also have this as our podcast on Spotify and all the other lovely places. How important is a podcast nowadays?
That's a great question, actually. It's from my standpoint, from the music side of things, for bands and artists to maintain connection with the fan base, obviously, because things have shut down. Everything's moving to tons of content, internet side. That's kind of, that's why we're getting into this world in the first place. It's I'm sorry, I totally forgot what you asked me.
No, you just got so wrapped up in the question because it's so important.
Yeah.
Why are podcasts so important, and why did you decide, hey, this is what I'm going to do? Because you got quite the setup. So you put a lot of time and effort. I've been there. I've seen the studio.
Oh, thanks.
It is top-notch quality. Why is that so important to you, and why is doing a podcast so important?
Connection. Yeah. It's just maintains the connection through these weird times. And I also think it's, instead of dwelling on how terrible things are, build a podcast studio and talk about things with your friends. Stay positive, it's another thing for us to continue to do to adapt to the times. And I think to me, a lot of what we're doing now is trial run stuff for when things come back, and now is the time we should be doing that stuff. Everybody's on a level playing field. We have a open-ended time sometimes with these lockdowns, which is, for me, allows me to kind of commit what I'm doing to deeper projects, knowing that I have open-ended time. But it's important for connection, and it's important to just stay busy and be creative. And it's just another outlet for that type of stuff.
Exactly. And I 100% agree with you. But artists, we're always coming up with new ideas, ways to market, new creative ideas, how to write a song. How can we do learning technology. We've had to, as artists, not only be our own producers, our own managers, etc., for quite some time now. As indie artists, we've also had to learn to be cinematographers, camera operators, sound engineers, all of those things.
Yeah.
How do you juggle, as for you being wearing a lot of those hats in a day-to-day professional business? How do you juggle that, and how do you manage making sure that you put 100% into each of those?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. That's a very important thing you just said at the end. If you take on too much, you don't put 100% into everything, and you have to know. Yeah. You have to know where that line is. You stretch yourself too thin, and everything suffers, and that's not a good thing. I'm going to give you a kind of a weird, profound, short answer to that. A lot of the things that I do in the world when it comes to everything from computer work to building a deck to stuff like that, a lot of the things I think about things in a lot of analogies, and a lot of things just connect and work together, and I can see the relation between a lot of things. So to me, these things are all just the same to me. I know how to do these things. If I know how to do this, I know how to do that. I know that makes probably not a ton of sense, but yeah, that's a lot of blind confidence in just taking on projects too. The bow stuff, building patios, building some of the interior stuff. It's just
also construction worker as well, right? You are a construction.
I am a Pinterest carpenter.
A Pinterest carpenter, are you?
Not even, that might even be a stretch. I could build a bookshelf, maybe.
I am a Pinterest keto eater.
Nice, there you go. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we should do an advertisement on Pinterest. Only if they give us money.
That's a plug and a half. Yeah, didn't even think
right.
About that.
Ryan, if you could sum up everything into, a couple key pieces of advice for anybody that is so willing to take on this responsibility of an artist, because it is a responsibility, and, you can sit and play in a garage band for all you want, but when it becomes a reality and you're making it, your true business self and what it is that you want to do. And like you said, giving only so many things and having so many hats at 100%, knowing what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. What is some advice that you can give other upcoming artists, upcoming sound engineers, producers, podcast hosts, maybe that young kid that's working at home in the room wanting to start a podcast? What's some advice you can give us?
One thing, and this is something I've recently learned, and it all comes back.
Stay green.
Yeah. We're back to the roots here. You really just got to trust. You got to trust the process. You got to put some hours in. You got to do things, and you have to do it with the most blind confidence that you're going to succeed, and never look up to see if you're going to fail. You really got to
say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Oh, I'm not going to say it verbatim, but just, you got to trust the process. You have to work with your brain, with your head down, and not look up and see if things are failing. And by the time you do something for long enough, and you do look up, you'll start seeing that you are getting somewhere. You got to trust the process. You have to be absolutely tenacious about it. You have to see something and just think you can do better, and just, you have to tenacious is a good word for it.
That piece of advice reminds me of, I was watching Scorch Trials last night, Maze Runner, and it's quite a common thing in movies where they're being chased by something, or something is chasing them and they're running away, and all of a sudden they're looking back to see if it's getting closer, or if they're going to be attacked. It's that moment that whenever they turn their head, they don't know what's in front of them. And I think that's such a great analogy to do the same for the same reason. Keep your head forward, stay focused, and don't look up to see if you're failing.
Yeah. It's
awesome.
Yeah,
Ryan, can you just play something really quick on the guitar for us? I know it's not plugged in. You're not. Just give us a little ditty there. Just let us see you hold that lovely instrument.
There you go.
Oh, what a way to take us out. Ryan, thank you so much, my friend.
No worries,
it has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope all the best things happen to your journey in music, and the best experiences. So many more great things to come once we can get back to doing live shows and being in the same room and actually feeling that bass underneath our feet from a live performance. And I look forward to having you behind the soundboard for one of my shows one day.
Absolutely. We'll do it.
All right, my friend. Have a fabulous, I love it. Have a fabulous night, and we'll get you to bow yourself out.
Okay. Take care, buddy. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a great night. All right, my friends. That is Ryan Kuly. What an absolute joy that was, having a chat with him. Sound engineer, podcast host, guitarist, as you heard him take us out on his instrument there. It has been an absolute pleasure having you join me tonight for Chattin' 88s. And you know what? It's that time again. We've come to the end of the show, but that's okay. We will see you next week with our special guest. And also, if you will, take a moment and go and vote for Run Runaway on CBC Searchlight. I love you. Thank you for joining. And you know what? Thank you for tuning in tonight. We had a lot of fun, that's right. Every single week we have a guest spending time with me. I said spending time with me. Spending time with me is the best. Thank you, everybody. Have a fabulous night. We will see you next week. Give us a follow on Chattin' 88's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Have a great night.